who wrote the Acts of the Apostles? Well, let's first look at what is called the we section, or the we passages of Acts. Now, the we in these passages, they play a very significant role in trying to identify who the actual author of this book is. And this is because the we, it simply lets us know that whoever wrote these passages was also a participant within the events happening within these passages of scripture. So overall, what this lets us know is that whoever wrote the book of Acts is simply giving an eyewitness to many of the accounts happening within this book. So now that we know that whoever wrote the book of Acts is an eyewitness, it seems as though there may be quite a few different candidates for the authorship of this book. And this is because the Apostle Paul had many different companions with him throughout his ministry who could very well be this eyewitness. And so just for an example, a very small example, some say that Silas is an eyewitness, so therefore he could be the author of this book. Some say Titus. Some say Timothy. Some even say the Apostle Paul is the author of this book. But it is generally believed that Luke, whom is also the author of the Gospel according to Luke, is also the author of this book, the Acts of the Apostles. Second, you have to pay attention to the fact that Luke is distinguishing himself, not only from the Apostle Paul, but also from the rest of the companions by simply naming them throughout the book. Third, Paul mentions in 2 Timothy 4:10-11, Demas has deserted me because he loves the things of this life and has gone to Thessalonica. Croesus has gone to Galatia, and Titus has gone to Dalmatia. Only Luke is with me. Bring Mark when you come, for he will be helpful to me in my ministry. So here in this passage of scripture, Paul is basically saying that during his final imprisonment that only Luke was with him. So therefore only Luke was an eyewitness to a portion of Paul's final imprisonment. Another point to be made is that when both Luke's gospel as well as the Acts of the Apostles are compared with one another, there seem to be quite a few parallel similarities. For one, both seem to have the same style and the same form. Second, both show evidence of being written by a physician, and lo and behold, it is the Apostle Paul himself who calls Luke the beloved physician. Third, both books are written to the same exact person, whose name is Theophilus. Another note worth mentioning is that many of the early church fathers such as Irenaeus, Origen, Eusebius, Tertullian, and Jerome all unanimously agreed that Luke was indeed the author of the Acts of the Apostles. And then there is the Muratorian canon. Now this is a New Testament canon that came out of Rome around 200 AD. Now what this canon consists of are the 4 Gospels, the Acts of the Apostles, the 13 letters of the Apostle Paul, 1st and 2nd John, Jude, the Apocalypse of Peter, but it does not include Hebrews, James, 3rd John, 1st and 2nd Peter, or Revelation. But one of the most interesting things about the Muratorian canon is that it gives common authorship to both the Gospel of Luke as well as the book of Acts. Finally, the Acts of the Apostles hasn't always been called the Acts of the Apostles. You see, the book didn't receive its traditional name until around the 3rd century or so. Therefore, many of the church fathers just simply called the book by the author's name. For example, Irenaeus called it Luke's witness to the apostles, and Tertullian simply called it Luke's commentary. So who wrote the Acts of the Apostles? Well, it is generally believed that Luke, whom is also the author of the Gospel according to Luke, is also the author of this book, the Acts of the Apostles.